All right, you know that we have to react to Save the World's video on Trippie Redd. Apparently, a lot of people think his career is over. I even ran this poll on my Instagram story where like he sold 38K and it's like, can he ever get back the big numbers that he used to pull? Also, in relation to that, I think Ebro tweeted, and I know we don't really listen to Ebro's tweets all too often because he said that Uzi and Yachty weren't going to make it out, and then now they're like the biggest superstars in the game, or at least Uzi is. Yachty's still, you know, he's killing it, but he's not the same size as Cardi or Uzi, or even Trippie. But with that being said, he stated in the tweet, or the post on X, sorry, that like hip hop labels aren't really allocating resources to them anymore because they're trying to hit this Latin or pop market just because there's more listeners there, or maybe the market's just too saturated. It's too hard to break artists, which I kind of agree. Like there's a lot of people who come and go super fast. We talk about how artist careers are only lasting like 2 to 3 years at this point, even when they get to a big level. We've seen so many rappers fall off from the SoundCloud era, so why keep pumping money into it, especially when you have a growing market in the Latin market? Look at Bad Bunny. He's one of the biggest artists so fast in like the last couple of years. He's already somewhat beating out Drake with his streaming numbers. So now with that being said, Trippie Redd, is his career over? We shall see. I think he has a potential, but the numbers are not looking good.
Redd has not only sold 38K first week on a project, a part of his most popular series of albums, which is less than even Lucky's most recent album, who is a far smaller and lesser known artist by miles. But now he's also in a bit of a mess after loser Opium Meat Riders went through Cardi's Twitter to find...
I like how he's doing that DVD thing so he doesn't get copyrighted with the music video, because that happens to me too sometimes.
That he liked a tweet that was making fun of Trippie for his album flopping. So it seems like right now nobody is really talking about whether or not A Love Letter to You 5 was a good project, but rather it's more about, has Trippie Redd fallen off? But to answer the question real quick, was the album good? It was okay. Anyways, let's dive into the discussion surrounding Trippie Redd. Let's start with the album sales. And to be honest, I have no idea why niggas care about sales and predictions so much. It's basically
I mean, I don't think album sales really equate to quality. It's really just how much hype does that artist have? However, that directly translates the sales, the numbers, into, is that artist falling off? Like, how many people actually care to check out the new project? So that's where I actually think it ties in. I think a lot of people discount it too much. I don't think first week sales matter when it comes to, is the music actually good? But it directly relates to, has the artist fallen off?
Dick measuring contest, but it's not even the rappers themselves doing it, it's the fans. So you're basically competing in a dick riding contest for a nigga who doesn't know you, is not paying you, and will never acknowledge you outside of like an IG story that says thank you to all my supporters. And honestly, this is why Trippie feels like he doesn't need to actually play the game and actually market his album and learn how to generate discussion in the current internet music landscape, because he has niggas who come to his defense no matter what and make Trippie seem like he's this victim of the industry. And hot take, I think he is. I think he does just get over-hated on. I think he makes good music. I think he's super versatile. Now, is he making top tier music like when you compare to like Cardi or any other artist that you like? Maybe not, because it's not as unique anymore and nobody really asks for those love tracks, but people just be hating. Of course the hip hop fan base is gonna hate on a love album because that's just not even hip hop. It didn't even have trap drums on it. So I get what he's saying. Yet to see a nigga actually making fun of Trippie Redd or hating on Trippie for his album sales. Like, who are y'all even?
He's yet to see that, because I've been seeing that. I mean, when we posted on Twitter and Instagram, like, it's literally everyone laughing, clowning on it, saying he fell off and blah blah blah. I think even him saying, is Trippie Redd's career over, or the discussion about has he fallen off, like that's almost a clowning type thing. Like that's instantly when people start commenting, oh, he fell off, like that's the first thing people go to.
Defending Trippie from. It really seems like his fans are fighting against this like invisible imaginary force. It's actually worse than if people were just hating on him and calling him trash, because now the narrative is like, oh, Trippie Redd is this poor little mistreated person in the industry. He got done so dirty, guys. Come on, we need to defend Trippie, which is not a good look for him image-wise. In terms of like victims of the music industry, people who got, blackballed or whatever else happened, people on Twitter might defend them and feel sad for them, but that doesn't translate to sales or an actual increase in fans. You're getting attention via pity. And if all you ever get is like pity parties and sympathy instead of people generally discussing your aesthetic or music because they like it, then that's not good. That's actually very bad. And back to the album's performance, I just want to say this nigga's marketing and ability to generate interest is terrible. Deadass, this nigga.
Yeah, the album rollout was pretty bad until like he really just posted snippets all up until he claimed that he cheated on his girl, whether or not that was actually real or fake. Like that's really when people started talking about the album, being like, oh yeah, he's gonna drop a love album to get her back and whatever. But I don't know, in hip hop nobody really cares about if you cheated on your girl. In fact, in songs that's like promoted,
nigga could cure world hunger tomorrow and unnuke Ukraine, and his team still wouldn't be able to get niggas to check out his new shit. The initial projection was 32K, but he managed to outdo that with 38K, which tells me, and y'all can call me wrong in the comments because I'm not too sure how album sales work, but what it tells me is that 1, his team marketed this album like absolute dog shit, and 2, a good chunk of people were just finding out that the album had even dropped before the week was over. I think because A Love Letter to You is like his flagship series, he just simply thought he didn't have to do that much outreach.
That's a good point. I agree.
To market the album. And if we compare him to like Travis, Cardi, and Uzi, people have been talking about their upcoming album.
He doesn't do well with like creating a world or like creating anticipation or like this whole album experience outside of just releasing the music, which that's what Cardi or even Uzi or Trav do. That's how you get the big album sales. Whereas A Love Letter to You 5, it was kind of like, oh yeah, we're getting an album. Whereas when Cardi drops, he's like teasing in performances, like here's a new song. Same thing with Uzi. I just perform a new song, blah, blah, blah. And then it starts getting posted on blog pages. People are still wondering if that's going to be on the album, where I feel like it's so obvious what Trippie's doing when he posts a snippet. Like it's going to be on the project. There's no curiosity, if you will.
For years, wondering when they're going to drop, seeing what kind of leaks are going to be on the album, just generally actually talking about the album. But with Trippie, it's almost like nobody was really talking about it in that sort of sense. The whole conversation leading up to this album was literally just, oh my God, is Trippie going to make it back? Is this going to make or break his career? And that really just sets expectations so high, because it means any negative or like mediocre part of the album, it's just immediately going to be.
I think if he drops another project where it's songs like Trip at Night, not Trip at Night, Trip McNight, like that one Grail that a lot of Trippie fans liked, and it's the most popular song on the project, or at least that's what the streams are saying, given that it was the last song on the album. So it didn't, it had a disadvantage compared to the first song that people check out when they click the link. But if he drops more like electronic, or what I'm saying, like almost Rage but not necessarily Trip at Night type level music, like I think he can actually do well, and people will say he came back.
Be Trippie Redd's falling off. He's mid now, it's over. I hate that narratives on Twitter have so much power over an artist's career, but at the end of the day, you can either keep complaining about it or you can learn how to play the game. Trippie is also not helping himself by posting shit like this. Someone on Discord said Trippie has like 22 platinum songs, which puts him above Cardi, Uzi, Durk, and Polo G, and Trippie decided to post that on his Instagram and go into this huge pity party for himself, and honestly, it's just not a very good look. Why is it that whenever an artist does bad, they feel they need to personally fight the community? You're not gonna win no matter what you say. They're just gonna call you corny.
That's facts. Rappers should just like shut up and let their fans speak for them. That's what Cardi does.
The only possible way you can respond,
and that's why when Uzi starts talking in group chats and shit, it's like, bro, you might want to stop talking,
is by making a few hits and building yourself back up, not by ranting on Instagram. On paper, Trippie Redd has the numbers and follower counts to do well, but what Trippie Redd and his fans don't understand is that this doesn't mean anything if you can't keep people interested in you as an artist and as a person. Anyways, I'm Save the World. If you agree, or even if you don't, but you fuck with the content, then subscribe and check.
Yeah, go fuck with the boy. Is he done though? Again, I think if he drops another project with more of like the trendy type sounds, or just more tracks like that on an album, not just love tracks, because again, music, we talk about music business always being like a product market fit. It's like, if you're a paper towel company, are you really gonna drop like a soap or something? Like, your fans or your customers are not really looking for that from you because they have that, or like they don't even need soap or, you know, a related product to that, because people, you know, it was a terrible example, but you get the point. Like, you're supposed to create a product. Of course, you want to experiment, but if you want to do well album sales wise, you kind of got to give what is expected, else people are going to say it's trash. So I think that's what happened exactly. We've gone over that a bunch of times. Can he come back? Yes. Just drop more of what people actually want. Yes.